Good morning, y'all. Happy Tuesday. Welcome back to Health, my friends. I feel like it has been so long since I've done a podcast, and it really hasn't. It's just been a month like usual. But I think just with everything that's been going on the last few months, I just feel like everything feels like it's taking longer and it's going slower, but yeah, time is a weird thing. Like it goes by so fast and so slow all at the same time, and that's definitely how I'm feeling this month especially. Like, can you believe that we are almost in September? What the heck? Where did August go? But we're almost to September. Speaking of September, I hope that you have a great weekend this weekend coming up, Labor Day weekend. If you have any special plans, if you get to spend extra time with family, if you have some time off from work, I hope that it is a great weekend for you. Rick and I are traveling to Pennsylvania, which is so awesome that we're close enough to make weekend trips now. So we're going to see some family, which will be really nice. And taking some time off of work, which is much needed after a couple of really busy weeks here lately. So I have some exciting announcements before we get into today's podcast. Um, One, I am now an official business owner. I officially own Health My Friend LLC. So I'm very, very excited about that. And it's just for the work that I do as a coach. So the last couple weeks, I've been transitioning really into working on my business and what I have to promote as a nutrition coach, a nutrition educator, a food relationship coach. Um, and so I am really focusing, excuse me, on what I have to offer as a coach. For those of you who have followed along for a while, you probably know like I coach with Beachbody and I use some of their products and their workout programs. But then I also do my own individual specialized nutrition plans, nutrition coaching, nutrition education. I work one-on-one with clients to help them build healthy relationships with food and exercise and themselves. And so that's really what I have shifted to focus on in these last couple weeks and why I started my LLC. And so yeah, I'm really excited about it. You will see more content like that from me, and there will be more content like that here on the podcast. So I'm very, very excited and proud of that. And then also last week, I got to do my first ever paid speaking event, which was so awesome and a huge accomplishment. So that's super awesome. Lots of good things. And then I did want to talk about Patreon really quick. So I post weekly meal plans, grocery lists, and recipes on Patreon. You can get access to all of that for $10 a month, which is an insanely good deal. You get weekly grocery lists, weekly meal plans, and then also recipes to go along with that meal plan. And I am available if you need any specific recipes or help with any of the things on the meal plans. You can reach out and I will get those to you. So $10 a month on Patreon. My Patreon account is Health My Friend. I'll link it in the podcast notes as well. But yeah, those are some of my fun, exciting, like business announcements before we get into this today. So I'm glad you're here. If you don't know who I am, I probably should have started with that. But if you don't know who I am Abby Mallard. I am the owner of Health My Friend. I am a nutrition educator, a nutrition coach, and a food relationship coach. And I get to work with people to help them build healthy relationships with food and exercise and themselves. I have a background of having bad relationships with those things. And so now that I'm in a really good place, it's just such a joy and an honor to get to help other people work on their struggles as well. All right, so let's get into it today. Last week, I did some nutrition education for an event that was going on, and I wanted to bring some of that to my podcast today. So my article going up today is also somewhat around this. But I want to talk about like healthy alternatives for foods, healthy options for different food groups, and all of it coming from a place as food as your friend, right? Because even though there are like healthy options of different things, we're allowed to enjoy it all. We're allowed to enjoy the foods we love. And so I want to talk about healthy options, but also making healthy choices based on having a good relationship with food. So if you struggle with your relationship with food, this is especially for you. If you don't really know like what foods are the best for your body, this is also for you. I'm gonna focus on healthy fats and carbs and proteins today. So I hope that this is helpful and educational. I know that nutrition can be hard. Like food can be hard. There's so many different things out there that tell us like, oh, this is good, this is good, this is bad, this is bad. Um, it can be kind of hard and confusing to know what actually is good for you. And also, it can be hard to um, like view food as your friend while also making healthy choices, right? Because there's so much diet culture and um, yeah, diet culture and stuff that's thrown at us that we have to be perfect when it comes to our food or our health. And so then we get caught up all in that. And then we really don't have a good relationship with food. So I want to come at it from both ways today because that's really, really important. And that's um, all of what my work revolves around is having that good relationship with food, but also taking care of your body and eating well and fueling your body and all of that. So without further ado, here we go. All right, healthy fats, healthy carbs, and healthy proteins. Um, what is a healthy carb? A carbohydrate. So a healthy carbohydrate is a complex carbohydrate. It's a carb that comes from a whole food. So think like sweet potatoes, quinoa, rice, berries. Those are all healthy carbohydrates as opposed to like your potato chips and processed foods. Processed foods aren't really healthy carbohydrates. Um, Complex carbohydrates are made up of long sugar molecule chains, and they actually take longer for your body to break down. So, because of this, they help to stabilize your blood sugar. You don't get those blood sugar spikes because of your body quickly breaking it down. Your body also has a longer amount of time to absorb the nutrients from these complex and healthy carbohydrates because they take a longer time to break down in your system. And they give you more energy and more fuel and keep you full for longer because they take longer to break down as well. So, complex carbohydrates, rice, potatoes, sweet potatoes, regular potatoes, all kinds of potatoes, like any kind of potato, um, quinoa, berries, all really good options for a healthy carbohydrate. Healthy carbs are important. They, again, help to stabilize your blood sugar and they give you that energy and fuel. So many times we hear people say, like, oh, don't eat carbs and carbs are bad for you, where that's not really the case. Carbohydrates are really, really important for your body. They're actually what your body breaks down and uses as fuel and energy. They are like the main nutrient that your body uses as energy. So, carbohydrates are super important for your health, for your nutrition. You just want to make more of those healthy carbohydrate choices. Now, again, food is your friend, right? You are allowed to enjoy foods that you love. And so if you love potato chips, like you're allowed to eat them. You just don't want to eat them at every single meal. You don't want to eat them every day of your life. You are allowed to enjoy them, but enjoy them as a treat every now and then. Enjoy them as something special. Um, Enjoy them in smaller quantities, smaller portion sizes than your healthy carbohydrates. Um, And healthy carbohydrates can be really, really delicious if you know how to make them in a good way and in a way that you enjoy eating. So, like a really good baked sweet potato or roasted potatoes with olive oil and some seasonings. Like, you can make them really, really good. So, healthy carbohydrates, make more of those choices, but also enjoy the ones that you love that aren't so great for you. Because if you don't enjoy those foods that you love, what's going to happen? Eventually, you're going to really, really want that food because you've been depriving yourself of it. You haven't been allowing yourself to eat it. And so then you're going to eat so much of it. um, and it's going to be something that you buy every time you go to the store and something that you eat much more frequently than maybe you should, or maybe you'll just like eat a whole bag in one sitting, which isn't super great for you. So enjoy those foods that you love, but also make those healthier choices. Okay, so that is carbohydrates. Next, we are going to talk about proteins, but first, I'm gonna sip a little energy here. I've been doing so much talking these last couple weeks that my voice is like a little hoarse, so bear with me today. Okay, so healthy proteins. What is a healthy protein? A healthy protein is a high quality protein. It's a protein that is high in protein and low in fat, low in carbs, low in fat, highest in protein. So, um, some examples of good proteins are chicken, turkey, ground beef, pork, eggs, cottage cheese. When you go to the store and buy like ground beef or ground turkey, you always want to get the higher percentage. So, like, when it says like 80% lean or 90% lean, 93% lean, the higher the number, the better. That just means that meat is higher in protein and lower in fat. So if you get, excuse me, a 93% lean ground beef, that's going to be lower in fat than an 80% lean ground beef. Okay, so always shoot for those higher numbers. That's important when you are picking out your proteins, especially your meats, those lean meats. A good quality protein is also low in sodium. So, sodium has some really good benefits for your body, but it also can be really detrimental to your health if you eat too much of it, if you have too much of it in your body. And you want to get most of your sodium from like regular salt, not from processed foods, because processed foods have a lot of sodium in them. So, like deli meats, sandwich meats that are processed, that's going to have a lot more sodium in it than like if you were to get a pack of chicken and cook it yourself and slice it. So you want your proteins to be, your meats especially, to be high, that high number in leanness, but then also you want it to be low in sodium. That's really important. It helps to regulate your blood sugar. I'm sorry, not your blood sugar, your blood pressure. It helps to not let your blood pressure go out of control. Sodium is one of the main contributing factors to high blood pressure, hypertension, those blood pressure issues. So limit those processed foods, limit those processed meats, those processed proteins. That also goes along with like beans are a really good source of protein. So if you get beans, either get them like in a pack where they're dry and you have to soak them and cook them, or if you get them in a can, look for the ones with lower sodium. Okay. So a good quality protein is high protein, low fat, low in sodium, and it's nutrient dense. So it's full of nutrients that your body needs. Protein is really, really important for your body. It helps to give you fuel, it helps to give you energy. It really helps with your muscle recovery and repair. So, especially if you work out a lot, if you lift weights, if you run, if you do a lot of movement, or even if you're just really active throughout the day, like at your job, if you work at Starbucks or something where you're always moving, protein is really important for that muscle care and muscle recovery. So, protein is super, super important for your body. Now, again, with protein, you want to have the really good proteins, right? Okay. But if you really like, let's say, sweet bologna, I'm a fan of sweet bologna. Um, you're allowed to eat it. You just don't want that to be your main protein. Excuse me, your main protein every day, right? Like, eat the ones that you love, eat the things that you enjoy, but make more of the healthy choices. Okay, last but not least, healthy fats. So, fats are super important for us. Fat gets a bad rap because it's fat, right? But it's really important for your body to get enough healthy fats. Now, of course, you don't want to be overeating fats, especially like when I work with people counting macros. Normally, fat is the lowest macro on their plan, right? It's the least amount of a nutrient that we want to eat throughout the day, even healthy fats, because fat is really, really important and good for your body, but only in a certain amount. You don't want to be overeating fats, healthy fats, or unhealthy fats, because if you have too much fat, your body isn't going to dispose of it properly. It's going to start building up in your arteries. You don't want that. So, healthy fats are really important, but you also don't want to eat too much of them. Some examples of healthy fats are avocados, nut butters. Let's see, what else is a healthy fat? Olive oil is a really good healthy fat. Um, Nuts, seeds, all of those sort of things. Um, Olive oil is like the best. Olive oil, avocado oil, or coconut oil are like the best oils that you can cook with. So if you normally use like vegetable oil or butter when you're cooking, especially like, like if you're sauteing veggies in a pan or if you're roasting vegetables in the oven, swap that out with olive oil or avocado oil or coconut oil. Those are all really good options for healthy fats. They're much better for you than using butter or a vegetable oil. If you use vegetable oils, you can just go ahead and throw those out. Those aren't good for you. So replace that with olive oil or avocado oil. Healthy fats are high in unsaturated fats. So when you um, when you look at a nutrition label at the back, like on the back of your food, normally there is a part that says fats, and it has the total fat. But then it also normally has that broken down into saturated and unsaturated fats. You've probably seen it. Maybe you haven't paid a lot of attention to it, but you probably have seen it. So, a healthy fat, you want like, a fat that's not super, super high total, but then you want, if it has unsaturated and saturated fats below that, you want higher in unsaturated and lower in saturated. Unsaturated fats are better for your body. Your body uses them better for fuel. They don't build up in your body quite as much as saturated fats. Saturated fats are those ones that your body doesn't really process as well, and they build up and clog your arteries, which leads to heart problems and things that we don't want to have to deal with. So, higher in unsaturated, lower in saturated. Higher in unsaturated, lower in saturated. Now, there are also many different categories of fats, but normally those are the two that you're going to see on your nutrition labels. So those are the most important ones to look out for. Some really good fats that are good for you are omega-3 fatty acids and omega-6 fatty acids, which typically come from fish. Um, and then also like oils. So, olive oil and then salmon is a really, really good fat option. So, salmon is a really good option for a healthy protein and a healthy fat. But salmon has a lot of those omega fatty acids, which are so, so good for you, especially for your brain health. It helps with your brain clarity. It helps you to think clearly. It helps you to be able to focus. Um, I know that a lot of us struggle with like brain fog, especially post COVID. A lot of people have struggled with brain fog. So, those omega fatty acids are really, really important for your brain health. Um, Again, with healthy fats, I want you to remember, even though there are the healthier fats for you. Of course, you don't want to have an overload of fat in your diet, but also I want you to eat the fats that you enjoy. So if you really like cheese, like you can have cheese, you just don't want to eat it at every single meal. Um, Again, you can have avocados, they're a healthy fat, but you don't want to eat avocados at every single meal either. So, healthy fats and fats in general have a really good place in your diet and are really important for your body, but you don't want to eat too many of them. Um, and always remember, like your relationship with food is the most important. So if you find yourself like really struggling with allowing yourself to eat foods that you love and you are really, really struggling with like just eating healthy foods and you won't allow yourself to eat the things that maybe aren't the healthiest, but that you really enjoy, I want you to start focusing on adding in like just a little something that you enjoy every now and then. It doesn't have to be every day. It doesn't have to be twice a day, but like at least once a week, add in something that you enjoy. Start to break that habit of always eating the healthy foods and not allowing yourself to eat the foods that you really love. Now, if you are the opposite and you find that you just eat all of the foods you love and you don't care if it's healthy for you or not, then I want you to start adding in healthy foods to your diet, right? So, whichever end of the spectrum you're on, I want you to find a balance. Life and food isn't about always eating the foods we love or always eating the healthy foods. It's about eating the foods we love and eating the healthy foods, right? It's about having both. It's so important to have both. And food doesn't have to be overwhelming. Food doesn't have to be everything that you think about. Food doesn't have to be this scary enemy, something that you're scared of, or something that is working against you. I really struggled with that when I was younger. I really struggled with feeling like food was not my friend and food did not help my body. And I did not enjoy my food. And it wasn't because I wasn't eating things that I enjoyed, it was just because I wasn't enjoying food. Eating was something that was so, so hard for me. And so if you struggle in that area as well, I want you to have grace for yourself. I want you to remember that um, you are so worth taking care of, and your body is so worth taking care of. And food wants to be your friend. Food does not want to be something that you're scared of. Food does not need to be something that you're scared of. Um, I used this example last week. So if you struggle with eating, if you struggle with allowing yourself to eat foods when you're hungry, maybe you struggle with an unhealthy relationship with food, and so you only eat like on a strict schedule and you don't allow yourself to eat outside of that schedule. Um, I used this analogy. Um, it's like if your car runs out of gas or your car needs an oil change. You wouldn't say to your car, "Oh, you're fine. Like, I'm not gonna give you gas. I'm not gonna give you new oil. Like, it's all good. No, you would put gas in your car or you would get an oil change, maybe a little late, but you would still give it an oil change because it's going to help with the health of your car and it's going to help your car run better and function, right? It's kind of the same thing. When your body tells you that it's hungry, that is because your body is low on fuel, it's low on gas. So don't tell it that it's going to be fine and that it doesn't need food or it doesn't need fuel. Give it food, give it fuel so that it has the energy and can function the best for you. Our bodies take such good care of us. They take really good care of us. They keep us alive on a day to day basis. They are doing so much in there for us. We have like 30 trillion cells in our bodies, and it like replaces almost 300 billion cells every single day. Um, it's working. It is working to take care of you. And so you need to help it. You need to take care of it as well. And part of that is fueling your body, listening to your body, and fueling your body when it is low on energy, low on fuel, and needs food. So when you're hungry, listen and eat. Okay? Now, I know that's not always easy. Like, you might be like, Abby, yeah, that's great. You can say that, but like, I can't do that. I understand. I used to be that person who would not eat and who would not eat when I was hungry and who did not take care of my body. But it's so important to work on that, to work on your relationship with food, to work on getting to a place where you love your body and you take care of your body, because otherwise, we're not living a healthy, good life. And our bodies aren't functioning in a good, healthy way. Um, so, if this is something that you struggle with, I hope that you will either reach out to me because I would love to talk with you. I might be able to help. But also, if you are really struggling, I hope that you will either reach out to me or reach out to find a therapist, find someone who can help you to work through those struggles that you have. Again, you are so important and you are so worth taking care of. And so I never want you to feel like you're alone in something because a lot of people struggle and a lot of people struggle with the same things that we struggle with. Okay. You're not alone in your struggles. But I also want you to know that it can get better and um, you are allowed to have a good relationship with food and you are capable of having a good relationship with food and it can get better. It doesn't always have to be this hard if it's really hard for you. And I know that when you're in it and it feels really hard, it feels like you're never going to be able to get out of it. I've been there. But there is hope and it can be better. I am living proof of that. I used to struggle and now I love food and I enjoy food and I enjoy foods that are good for me and I also enjoy foods that I love. And I have a really, really good relationship with food and a really, really good relationship with my body. Now, that does not mean that I don't still struggle because we all struggle and we all have bad days, right? But I have a much healthier relationship with my body and myself and my food. And so I want that for you too, because I know what it's like to not have a good relationship with food. Okay, y'all. I hope that this was helpful. I hope that learning a little bit about fats and proteins and carbs was helpful for you. I hope that you will work on making some healthy choices and that you will work on listening to your body when it's hungry and that you will work on enjoying foods that you love as well. And if you need help with anything, I hope that you will reach out. I am always here. I'm an open book. I am not scary. I don't bite. I love to help people. And so if you need help with anything, please reach out. But I hope that you all have a wonderful rest of your Tuesday or whatever day you're listening to this on. And I will talk to you next month. All right. Bye.